Do you know that on Paradise Island there exists a yoga retreat? Do you know it? Do you believe that certain sector of law enforcement is not aware that at Paradise Island there exists a yoga retreat that has been there perhaps way before 1978? I find it very interesting, but I think it's powerful. It is a story of an American citizen who is alleged to have come to Paradise Island, and in the midst of arriving on Paradise Island, that American citizen is alleged to have gone missing. And there's major confusion as to whether or not the American is a man and or a woman. Is the American a lesbian and or a gay person? It's confusion. And that is why it is so important that the law be clear, that when people are traveling, we clearly know their sex. We'll talk about it because you will hear no other Negro who's bold enough to discuss an American by the name of Taylor Casey. The media in the United States say it's a woman who's missing in the Bahamas. And they have us confused because while everybody is searching up and down Paradise Island for a woman, it's a man. It's a male. And when there's a pushback internationally, they say you're discriminating. It's transsexual. I don't know what the hell that means. Everybody on Paradise Island is looking for a female. Now they say it's a transsexual. I don't know.
Transgender.
I don't know what this is. But broadcasting live from the ILTV studios, located here at University Drive. Welcome again to Freedom March. My name is Rodney Monka. Pray for me. The Kenyans have landed in Haiti. Kumbaya, my lord, kumbaya. It's voodoo dance and voodoo talk. Tutmunaishe, gade, gade, gade. God save the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. God save the King. I'll be right back. Welcome back to Freedom March. My name is Rodney Monker, and of course, today happens to be Tuesday, the 25th day of June 2024, and there are all sorts of things happening here in the country, all sorts of games that are being played as we hide behind tourism. And it is time that the nation find a sieve, and let us start sieving international tourism, because we are going to get a bad name, because we will not set a high standard. We're following all kinds of things around the world, and it's having a serious problem. The first problem is we find ourselves where state officials are now telling the international media that they are not aware that on Paradise Island there exists a yoga camp, a yoga retreat. Everybody who is in the tourism industry and has worked at Paradise Island, in whatever profession you were working in, whether or not you were a taxi driver, a tour car operator, a bus boy, a waiter or waitress, we all know that at Paradise Island there exists a yoga retreat where you can go and do all sorts of things. We do know that it exists, and so today we have been observing international reports over the last 24 hours in which they have alleged that an American woman is missing on Paradise Island. And that became extremely interesting, because not since we had a murder at Paradise Island that I have become so concerned about what's going on, and the fact that it is so difficult for the average investigator to distinguish precisely what this is. You will find no Negro in the entire 700 islands, 2,000 rocks and keys, and 100,000 square miles of Bahamian Ocean who will tell you what is going on. And I think the time has come for the Ministry of Tourism to start sieving the tourist dam, because anyway, I think we go to prayer first, and then I'll have to come back and deal with this breaking news where the Americans is confusing us, and I want the Americans to stop confusing us, because we as Negroes, we only recognize two sexes. It's male and female. And when you start calling man woman and woman man, no wonder we're having difficulty finding this young man, because the American media start off, it is alleged, by calling this man. It is alleged he's a male, and they are calling a man a woman. And this is creating a lot of confusion, because we have received report that a number of people associated with tourism have been looking all over Paradise Island for a woman. Now they have to change the strategy, because we're being told that this alleged woman is in fact a man. So it's just amazing how confusing the world is. And as they talk about it, I just wonder, where is the Christian Council? You remember when the Christian Council was organized, and they would go down Bay Street and just run behind them with the Bible. But they stopped doing it. It appears that many of the pastors did now own, so they no longer run behind Americans. But there used to be great days. You go downtown, you're driving your taxi, and you would hear that the Christian Council is on the way. When you hear that the Christian Council is on the way, they'd be running behind the American tourists with the Bible, cross and holy water, and the American tourists would just hold her hand. I'm laughing because it is indeed amusing. When I was briefed this morning, and as I was being briefed on this alleged crime, I said to those who were briefing me, man, I suspect man.
Mine is.
Pardon?
We have to fix your wire.
I have to fix my wire?
Because apparently we're getting...
Help me, my spiritual advisor. And as I was being briefed, you know, I said, y'all don't confuse me. Just say an American is missing, because it became so confusing that the media, I think it was ABC News that I was watching, and they said that an American woman was missing on Paradise Island. That made me very, very upset, because you would recall that we did have a murder on Paradise Island when the Right Honorable Hubert Ingraham was Prime Minister, and if you recall, Mr. Ingraham had to personally take over that investigation. I don't want to bring up these old stories, but I'm being compelled. And I think it wasn't until Mr. Ingraham took over that investigation in his capacity as Prime Minister that we were able to solve that case. And of course, Attorney Godfrey Popinder, whom I shall soon have joining me on the show this week, he was the attorney that argued for the acquittal of that Negro man, but nevertheless, I think he was convicted. It is so confusing. I mean, I had to put up with all of this nonsense, and I think an advantage is being taken of me. I'm 67, and could I not be brief? Just give me the facts, all right? Anyway, my spiritual advisor.
A lot of things in life, Sandra, are not always as they seem. You must remember that. That's very important.
It's just
amazing. A lot of things are
Yeah.
not always as they seem. And of course, we're dealing with something like that today, yesterday, as relates to tithing. A lot of folks don't realize that tithing is not for Christians. Tithing is not a part of the New Testament teachings. The apostles never commanded the church in the first century to tithe, and simply because it is a part of the old Mosaic law that, of course, was under the Levitical priesthood order. All right, and then if your church is commanding you to tithe, then more than likely you're in the wrong church. Because number one, tithing is not a part of the New Testament teachings, it's not a part of Christianity, and not only that, it is not money. That's the biggest mistake a lot of these preachers make. That's why I said to Santa that a lot of things in life ain't always the same. So today we're going to go back to Judaism, which is the Old Testament, and we're going to look at tithing again as relates to the children of Israel and what God wanted them to do as relates to tithing. So tithing was given strictly under the Levitical law, under the Mosaic system to the Israelites and them only. So here's a principle here. Tithing is not money. I'm going to prove that right now in this passage today. Tithing is not money. Deuteronomy chapter 14, 22 to 26. Here's what the Bible says. This is Jehovah speaking. You should truly tithe all the increase of your grain that the field produces year by year. And you shall eat it before the Lord your God in the place where he chooses to make his name abide. The tithe of your grain and your new wine and your oil and of the firstborn of your herds and flocks, that you may learn to fear the Lord your God always. Notice it ain't money. It says, but if the journey is too long for you, so that you are not able to carry the tithe. So obviously you're carrying oil, you're carrying grain, you're carrying flock, right? So the journey that you're about to go on is too long for you, so that you're not able to carry the tithe, of the place where the Lord your God chooses to put his name is too far from you, when the Lord your God has blessed you, then you should exchange it for money. You see that? Then you should exchange it, so you're changing the tithe for money. It says, then take the money in your hand and go to the place which the Lord your God chooses. And you shall spend that money for whatever your heart desires, for oxen or sheep, for wine or similar drink, or whatever your heart desires. You should eat there before the Lord your God, and you should rejoice, you and your household. So if the place is too far, if it's a different place where God chooses for his name, and you're actually carrying the oil, you're carrying the wine, you're carrying the sheep, if it's too much of a burden, then Jehovah told the Israelites to change it into money. But notice now, when you reach the place, then you change it back to the tithe. He says, and you should spend that money for whatever your heart desires, for oxen or sheep, for wine or similar drink, for whatever your heart desires. You should eat there before the Lord your God, and you should rejoice, you and your household. A lot of things in life ain't always as it seems. It's amazing how for so many years that people have been taught to tithe, but it's not a part of the New Testament teaching. It's not a part of Christianity. It was always a part of the Old Testament Mosaic system that, of course, was under the Levitical priesthood order. Please, challenge your preacher. Tell him that Jesus never left any command for the Christians to tithe, nor did the apostles teach the church in the first century to tithe. It is not a part of Christianity. This is the word of God, and we're thankful to Almighty God. Thank you so much, Mr. Medusa. Back to you, Senator.
I thank you, my spiritual advisor.
Absolutely.
Well, folks, as we began the show, we told you that in the United States there has been international broadcasts of an American woman missing at Paradise Island. For those of us who are closely connected to tourism, that became a very major concern. And of course, we do know that there has been an attempt to see if this American woman could be located. Among the things that we understood is that this alleged American female was scheduled to go to a yoga retreat on Paradise Island. We understand that there have been certain sectors of law enforcement who appears to be unaware that there is a yoga retreat on Paradise Island that has been there perhaps more than 40 years ago. And for those of us who had worked the Club Med, and that yoga retreat was very close to Club Med geographically, Club Med which was also on Paradise Island, we know that there were many mysterious and suspicious activities that took place at the yoga retreat at a period when they allegedly were doing different kinds of exercise and exercise rituals. Well, at the center of this missing alleged woman is the yoga retreat. And now we are beginning to learn that it's not really a female who is missing, but a man who is alleged to be transitional. He's a transitional male. In other words, he has been moving from being female to becoming a male, or he's been moving from becoming a male to female. It's so confusing. And of course, his name is Taylor Casey, and everybody appears to be looking for a female, when in fact, biologically, Taylor Casey is a man. Now, we're not sure if he was successful in having a male alteration operation. We're not sure whether or not he was castrated or whether or not he had an organ change. But this appears to be the talk. And of course, for many Bahamians, they have been confused because in effect, they have been looking for a female. Now we are hearing that it's really a man. And so I don't know how he was dressed when he came, but everybody seems to be hush mouth on this matter. But it calls for open discussion, and the police needs to be more transparent and tell us precisely what is taking place. Are we looking biologically for a female, or is this a man who's alleged to have had an operation culminating in the change of his sexual identity? And is he a person who, depending on his mind swing, one day he could be wearing dress, the other day he could be wearing man clothes? But it's very confusing, and I was extremely upset when it was brought to my attention that there was a certain sector of law enforcement who was unaware that on Paradise Island there is a yoga retreat. Now I must confess that I never heard that the yoga retreat had anything to do with transsexuality, non-sexuality, or whatever. All I knew, it was a place where white people went and where they exercise. In more recent time, as a cab driver, I did take some tourists just off of Bay Street to catch a boat where they were taken over to Paradise Island to the yoga retreat. And of course, those people that I took, these were real white people, and it was a real man and a real woman with real young people accompanying them. So I don't know what is going on, and all I ask is that the authorities would be transparent so that we can stop the propaganda coming out of the United States. This is Freedom March. God save the reputation of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. God save our King, King Charles III, and the entire royal family. I'll be right back after the break as we discuss this new and strange phenomena attacking tourism. God save the King. Welcome back to Freedom Match. My name is Rodney Monka. Bradley Roll is my spiritual advisor. Bradley, perhaps you should read the ad and then we could continue our discussion.
Absolutely. The Work Center, located Rosetta Street, across from Roberts Furniture, is your one-stop shop for back-to-school Dickies, Timberlands, and many, many more. Come on down and let their friendly staff assist you with getting ready for back to school. This is powerful indeed.
Yes, it is.
Everybody needs money. Always send money internationally and locally through Western Union. Money Max. Download the Money Max app today and send cash instantly to a family member or friend anytime and anywhere. Sending money has never been simpler. The app is available in the Apple Store and Google Play Store. Money Max. Live your max life.
This is powerful indeed.
Absolutely.
Well, my spiritual advisor, we give you the story of international reports of an American, it is alleged, female missing on Paradise Island. And of course, we do know that there have been some attempt by certain people searching allegedly for an American woman. Now we are receiving new reports that this is not really a female, it's a man, and some refer to him as a transgender, whatever that means in good English. It suggests to me that by that definition, it means a man who is attempting to convert himself to a female, which perhaps has created a lot of problems for the local Negroes who have been on Paradise Island looking for a woman who is in fact a man. And this is an interesting development in view of the fact that it is alleged that certain sector of law enforcement, it is alleged, claims that they did not know that a yoga retreat existed on Paradise Island. And I am submitting that it's been there for more than 40 years. So what do you make of that?
Well, Sandra, I mean, no doubt this is something that's very serious for us, especially for our tourism product. And no doubt we have to look at protecting tourists when they come to the Bahamas for a visit. This is a very strange case, indeed. Although on Paradise Island there are a lot of footage of cameras rolling scenes, taking photos of activities on Paradise Island. So it does seem as if the police, no doubt, of course, I know they will do their due diligence to see how many cameras they can actually track to see when was the last time they may have seen this person. Of course, the first stop is immigration at the airport to make sure this person traveling from Chicago to the Bahamas did in fact cross our borders. And did speak with immigration, letting them know exactly how long they want to be here and the purpose for their visit. No doubt. Do they fill out a visitor's card?
There was a point.
I don't remember if they don't.
There was a point when that was a requirement, but in our desire for tourism, many old convention has been discontinued to facilitate the tourist market. So I can't answer that.
But we should keep record, though. We should keep record of every person that comes into the country.
I would want to think that is what we are still
doing. You never know. This is the case now, where a person has been earmarked to come to the Bahamas from Chicago, and it's missing.
And then, of course, if the person comes to the Bahamas as a female, goes missing, and then later on we began to hear it really wasn't a woman, it was a man who was transgendering.
So this person might just be in plain sight. You're going to be looking for a woman, but the person turned back into a man.
That is highly possible, taking into consideration that the yoga retreat is a place that you quietly slip into. So once you slip into the yoga retreat, from the little information that I have, normally once you get to the yoga retreat, you remain stationary
Oh, it's like a resort or something like that?
Yeah, you go there to relax, you go there to exercise, you go there to eat certain
Do yoga.
food, to do certain yoga. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. And of course, this is in a place that is just open ordinarily to members of the public. It's like a secret club.
It's a members only kind of thing.
Yeah, and so the most you do is you look at it, and without proper information, you come up with conjecture as to what they're doing and what's going on, and so forth and so on. And nobody in the country thinks that we ought to know what these private investors are doing behind the gates, behind high walls. And so this is a potential for a big scandal if we cannot find Taylor Casey, and of course, unless of course he went swimming and may be a victim to something unknown.
You think?
Well, I would not want to suggest shark, because in more recent time, the Americans have been blaming sharks for most attack on their citizens, but you never could tell. It could be shark attack, and we don't know what's going on. But I think somebody needs to get to the bottom of it, and we need the police to clearly state what this is. So one, the police should identify the American citizen. Two, they should tell us if it's a male, a female, or a transgender, whatever sexual description that is used to identify this American citizen, we ought to be told. Because depending on how they describe this alleged female, end quote, you might be able to assist in finding. So if we are told, really, it's a man, then it means, and as we are moving about, we look for a man. If we are told, listen, it's a female, or it's a person who's supposed to be transgender, perhaps the police will tell us how that person ought to look. It's just amusing, but it's a very serious matter, taking into consideration that a human being is missing, and we do not know if foul play is involved. Not since 1974, when we had an American who came to the Bahamas and went missing in Yamacraw Beach estate. And of course, that turned out to have been a murder. And of course, they were the days when Mrs. Janet Bostwick was the prosecutor, and she decided that she would get to the bottom of it, and she didn't stop until she prosecuted an Afro-American by the name of Shobeck, Mishika Shobeck, and Mrs. Janet Bostwick was very successful, and she didn't stop until she had him executed for killing that white American on Yamacraw Beach. So let's hope it's not that, because Janet is in retirement and we may have to call her. And you would recall that there was the killing of an American on Paradise Island. Hubert Ingraham at that point was serving as Prime Minister, and Bernard K. Barnaby Sr., he was the Commissioner of Police, and Mr. Ingraham was not pleased with how the police was conducting that investigation. And for those of you who may have forgotten, Mr. Ingraham took it over. And listen to me, whatever you think about Hubert Ingraham, not only was he a good Prime Minister, he was a good policeman, because when it was all over, a man was arrested, and notwithstanding what Godfrey Propender did to prevent him from losing the case, he did lose the case. He was convicted. And Propender said that there was no case as that case not even a pillar case. Read the newspaper and you will see that I'm quoting Dr. Godfrey Propinder correctly. Anyway, we thought we will tell that to you.
Yeah, so I was going to ask the producer to Google, but anyway, I got it. This exercise of yoga,
Yes.
or the practice of yoga,
Yes.
was something that started, they say, thousands of years, someplace in India.
Okay.
But what is really for, I understand, it's a practice that connects the body, breath, and mind. It uses physical postures like breathing exercises,
Yes.
meditation, and stuff like that to improve overall health. So
Yes.
they say yoga was developed as a spiritual practice thousands of years ago. So they say today, though, most Westerners do yoga for either exercise or to reduce stress.
Yeah. Well, certainly his visit has caused international stress because we are told that the family, they are on their way to the Bahamas, it is alleged, to assist with the investigation. So this is where we are.
Yeah, I mean, this investigation should really be, I think our police force can take care of this very easily, because we're going to track this young lady from. Now, what do you want me to say? How do you want me to address this?
Well,
thing
the
now?
first problem
Because
with
I don't want to say it's a woman when it's a man, or say it's a man when it's a woman.
Just say,
now, what's
say
the name?
Taylor Casey.
Okay, so Taylor Casey caught a flight from Chicago to the Bahamas, right?
Okay.
And she came through our international airport.
And, okay.
So we track immigration, and of course from the airport, you can look to see what taxi she may have decided to go in, and if Paradise Island was the destination, you can track it very easily. There are cameras all over the place. May take some time, but you can, and then more than likely, the taxi driver that took Taylor Casey to Paradise Island then
Well, some of them don't go straight to Paradise Island. That's what I'm telling you now.
Where does go?
Some of them, they're taken down to the dock, and they catch a little boat, and that take them across.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's what I'm telling you.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Many of them, they take what I would like to refer to as a shortcut. Okay? And then, of course, how is the police to conduct a good investigation if a sector of the police, and I'm very disturbed by this, is unaware that there exists on Paradise Island a yoga retreat?
They've been there for a while.
I'm just shocked by that. And certainly, the security and intelligence branch of the Royal Bahamas Police Force is falling down on the job. Not only are they falling down on the job, the National Security Council, they're falling down on the job, because at least we ought to know that there is a yoga retreat and it attracts people who are principally into the building and developing of the body, the mind, and the soul. So this is powerful.
All right, let's move on.
Yeah, let's move on. Well, before I move on, what time is it? Yeah, I can move on. Well, folks, you must have heard that last night there was a shooting in Nassau Village. And according to reports that we have received last night, a 22-year-old Negro male, it is alleged, was shot by two other Negro young men. And of course, according to police, he is still alive and he is in hospital, and the police are investigating this recent shooting. So that is what is taking place here on the island of New Providence. So it's still tragic, it's still sad that our young people are, are mean, are heartless, and the killings are still taking place. Well, as these crimes are being committed, you would have learned by now that Sir Michael Barnett, a former Chief Justice and the President of the Court of Appeal of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas, as of Tuesday, the 24th, or today is Tuesday, as of Wednesday, as of Monday, that's yesterday, the 24th of June, Sir Michael Barnett has retired as President of the Court of Appeal, and they had a special sitting of the Court of Appeal, and apparently the current Court of Appeal is so small that they move to sit in the British Colonial Hilton Hotel. That's where they set up the Court of Appeal, and there were many, many distinguished jurists, many distinguished lawyers and politicians who were in attendance. Among those who attended was former Prime Minister, the Most Honorable Dr. Hubert Alexander Minnis, and of course, former Prime Minister, the Right Honorable Hubert Alexander Ingram. And of course, Mr. Ingram and Mr. Minnis, they are both members of the Holy Roman Catholic Church, and notwithstanding their political differences, they sat together. And as you are aware, Sir Michael Barnett, who is the retired President of the Court of Appeal and a former Chief Justice, he is also a member of the Holy Roman Catholic Church, and he demitted office telling the court that he will forever be or feel like a judge. And you may not know that Sir Michael Barnett has emerged as perhaps one of the most competent judges of our Supreme Court and Court of Appeal. Sir Michael has had a reputation for being very efficient when it comes to writing a timely judgment. There is no other judge of record in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas that has written a judgment on a timely basis as Sir Michael Barnett. So it was great excitement to see that Hubert Ingram, notwithstanding that last week he had a surgery for a blood clot on the surface of his brain, he attended that special hearing yesterday. And of course, from a photograph which appeared in the newspaper this morning, Mr. Ingram wore a hat in court, which is very unprecedented for males to be allowed to wear hats. But of course, this would have been done so as to cover the bandage around his head, he having just had that surgery. So it was a great day for Mr. Ingram, particularly in view of the fact that you would recall that Sir Michael Barnett, he served as the Attorney General when Hubert Ingram was Prime Minister. And if I do have it correctly, I think it was under Mr. Ingram that he was appointed either the Chief Justice, if I have it correctly. And if for those of you who have been following the development of the new Magistrate Court complex at Nassau Street and South Street, it was Sir Michael Barnett and Mr. Ingram together who came together to build the Nassau Street Magistrate Court complex. And I could never forget that there were a number of young men from Bainstown who had this wonderful contract on the roof. And they noted that most Saturday afternoon, then Prime Minister Hubert Ingraham and then Chief Justice Sir Michael Barnett would show up at the magistrate court, and they were shocked and they were suspicious, and they would call me and tell me, come now, the Chief Justice and the Prime Minister are secretly meeting at the court. And they were very concerned about what was going on. And I would say to them, keep spying on the Prime Minister and the Chief Justice, keep listening. I won't be, I'll soon show up. And I would just secretly show up and hide. So they were the days when Mr. Ingraham and Sir Michael built that big Supreme Court complex, okay? And one of the things that they did is they built it so well and so high that they made it very difficult for Omar Archer to escape. And it's like if they anticipated that Omar will jump from one of the floors, so they built it very, very high. And do you know, notwithstanding how high Sir Michael Barnett and the former Prime Minister Hubert Ingraham built that court, you know Omar Archer still jumped from it? It's just amazing. You hear what I tell you? Despite the fact that Hubert Ingraham and Sir Michael Barnett built that court high, high, high off the ground, Omar Archer still jumped and break one of his legs. So we congratulate Sir Michael Barnett for his wonderful services. And of course, guess what? He is on his way to becoming Law Commissioner. So this is powerful that Prime Minister Philip Davis shall or may have already done it. He will become Law Commissioner. And there's only one citizen in the whole of the Bahamas who knows what to tell Sir Michael that he needs to do. See, I know secrets. So I don't know if I should show off and reveal a secret and now challenge Sir Michael Barnett to do it as the Law Commissioner. Yeah, I may do that, my spiritual advisor. What do you think?
Law Commissioner, wow, interesting.
Yeah, he's going to examine all of the laws. He's going to make recommendation.
If there's going to be any changes.
Yeah, whatever changes.
Wow.
And perhaps I'm going to give God thanks for the blessing that God has given me, where I'm on national radio and national TV, and I could now show off and be the first person to tell Sir Michael Barnett what he should do. And I shall now do it. Under Section 5 of the Magistrate Act, the law makes provision for the appointment of justices of the peace. I do know secretly that Sir Michael Barnett, while serving as Attorney General, heading into becoming Chief Justice of the Bahamas, he, my Lord, forgive me, was a part, I don't want to put the full blame on him, in preparing a new provision of the law to establish, independent of the Magistrate Act, a Justice of the Peace Act. And I now call on Sir Michael Barnett to step now, my Lord, and submit that proposed bill to the Prime Minister so that we will have a new act that specifically governs justices of the peace and its appointment, and Sir Michael Barnett, I publicly call upon you to include in that act where justices of the peace shall be marriage officers, and that we will be like many jurisdictions around the world. We can perform marriages, my Lord, for I am tired of many of my family and my friends living in sin. And if I was a marriage officer, my Lord, I would have mass wedding. My Lord, I call upon you to now introduce that wonderful piece of bill that you dropped many years ago. God save Sir Michael Barnett. God save the new president of the Court of Appeal, John Isaac. God save the king. I'll be right back. Welcome back to Freedom March. My name is Rodney Monker. Bradley Roll is my spiritual advisor, and it's birthday time, Bradley.
All right, yeah, we got a couple of birthdays we want to do today, and probably one or two shout-outs. So I'm heading the list. Janet Johnson, celebrating the 55th birthday. Happy birthday to Miss Janet Johnson, coming from family and friends, the Eyewitness News chat family, and from her cousin Shauna. Love you and celebrate you, beautiful, on your special day. Happy birthday to Janet Johnson. We also want to send a happy birthday shout out to Ann Johnson Green. She's celebrating her 99th birthday today.
Wow.
Her family celebrates along with her, her niece, Janet, love, on this special day. All the best to you in celebrating your 99th birthday, which means you're going to be 100 soon. Wow.
Next year.
That's interesting.
Yeah, it's powerful.
Yeah. Brandon Panzer. Happy birthday to Brandon Panzer from your son, Bryson, father, your sister, brothers, and all the family members, especially your Aunt Shelley. Enjoy the special day, Brandon Panzer. All right, so who else is there? Did I do him? Oh, so yeah, Sandra Cocos, yeah. She's a member of the Lord's Church. Happy birthday, Sandra. This beautiful, melodious, happy singing young lady. Happy birthday to you. Beautiful sister, we love you. Coming from the Harry Potter Church of Christ, your husband, your children, and all those who love you. Happy birthday to Sister Sandra Cocos. Then we get an anniversary. Sandra Knowles, happy belated wedding anniversary to Sandra Knowles, June the 24th, 1989 to now, 35 years. She's one of the women now. I watch you just about every day, Rodney Munker. Me and my neighbors always can't wait for you to come on and to listen to you.
Thank you, Sandra Knowles. This is powerful.
A lot of times you speak the truth and you make us laugh, Mr. Munker. Okay, thanks so much, Sandra. Wedding anniversary, shout out to you. 35 years of marriage. We hope you live to enjoy many more years together. All right, we got a shout out. Let's see who. Master Javante Stubbs. Congratulations to Master Javante Stubbs. Congratulations as Salutatorian for Kindergarten 2024 Achievers Christian Academy. Salutatorian. Okay, Salutatorian. Whatever. How do you pronounce that? Sorry, forgive me. 2024 Achievers Christian Academy from his proud single mother. And then Logan Butler. Congratulations, Logan Butler, student at Westminster College, Blake Road.
And Logan has had, what has been his average point?
I don't see it there.
Really? Well, it's supposed to be there. Logan has had such a good average point. I think it was, let me make sure, because I don't want Logan to get mad with me. But I think Logan own was 3.38, I think. Or his grandma is going to kill me. Yeah. So Logan, congratulations. He's 9 years old, and this is powerful. Okay.
All right, yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Mr. Medusa.
Yeah.
All right, so we're not going to go into details about this, but we are getting some very interesting commentary from some police investigators about this yoga retreat.
Okay, let's hear it.
So, this one police officer who texts my phone says that he wants you to confirm that there is a yoga retreat, because he says he don't know if there's one because Club Med is closed down. Let me just say to him, let me say to you, police officer, my good friend, that I worked for a particular food store, and that yoga retreat.
Gadi.
Anyhow, but they always order from us.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
They order.
It exists.
Yes.
Yeah.
I fill a lot of orders for them.
Yeah.
All right, so to say that it's non-existent, I think you got to do some searching, my brother.
The yoga retreat do exist.
Yeah, the Reverend Party Island.
Yeah, they've been very quiet.
Yeah.
They were in the area where Club Med once was situated. And of course, they've been very quiet. Don't forget now, it's a place where you go to like hang out and to space out you know.
Well, yes, I understand it's a drug rehab. It's an upscale.
So it
You know.
it exists. Most people will not know.
No.
But those of us who were deep into tourism, we know.
You can't get in. As a matter of fact,
All right.
when you call, somebody has to meet you to the gate in order for you to get in. You just can't go in. It
We
doesn't
know.
work that way.
Yeah, we
All right,
know
somebody has to meet you to the
it
gate.
exists.
Yeah,
And
it's there.
I'm going to have a talk with the Minister of National Security because, you know, I don't want the police to be like me. It was like one night I pick up a tourist and he wanted to go to Cheetahs. And poor me, I thought he meant he wanted to go someplace where there was monkeys. And I tell him, I didn't know, I told him we didn't have any cheetahs. And then slowly, I called one cab driver. I said, man, this tourist keep saying he won't go to Cheetahs. And we don't have any cheetahs on the island. He said, man, can stop talking nonsense. You know, say old house down the road there. I said, that's what he mean by cheetahs?
Yeah,
Poor
it's,
me, I didn't know.
Some kind of social group.
Right? So I don't want the police to be like that. The police must know everything. Okay? But I think we have to start insisting when the Americans come, they're going to be honest with us, and we will tell them, we don't care what kind of operation y'all have. Stop telling us y'all is woman when y'all is man. Because we have difficulty all over Paradise Island. They got the black people all over Paradise Island looking for a woman. Now they say, no, it ain't no real woman. It's a man. Then if you say that, they're going to say, you see, you are insensitive. You see what they're going to say? They can say, you're insensitive. While ignoring certain cultural reality. See, there's certain cultural reality. Now, there have been people who have been trying to change what they perceive as our Negro ignorance, right? But you can't blame me if you tell me it's a woman, and then I start looking and I can't find no woman. So them cab drivers who was out looking,
Hidden in plain sight.
they are upset that there they were looking for a real woman, and it's a man, maybe dressed up in woman clothes. I'm not trying to upset anybody. The police should say, listen, it's a man who's wearing woman clothes, or it's a man who's wearing wigs, or it's a male who's straightening his hair. And that don't mean he's sissy, because we've had quite a number of prominent politicians who had jerry curls. And everybody know when he curled up, he attracted all the girls them. So it's some kind of things, you know. And people get mad and they say you're going against the convention. And then of course we have some groups in the country and they get upset saying you're being insensitive and so forth. So that's what's going on, okay? Let's see if we can help find Taylor Casey. I even don't like the name. It'd been so good if he was Casey Taylor. Because everybody that I run into, I said, what about this Taylor Casey? They say, you mean Casey Taylor? I said, no, man. They said Taylor is his first name. Because, you know, white people have names that are titles. All right? So I said, no, man, his title is his first name. His surname is his first name. So this is what is going on. And, you know, y'all better find Casey before, you know, there's more problems in the society.
Yeah, because we don't want the Americans to issue an upgraded travel advisory.
Well, what they're going to say?
Well, you know, if this American goes missing and they can't find this American, that's a problem.
Well, now, you can't. Are you suggesting because an American goes missing
In the Bahamas?
that it's foul play?
I'm not saying that.
Any
but
man who leaves the United States claiming that he's transgender, he leave missing. See, if you
No, don't
leave-
do that. Don't do that, Senator.
don't tell me what not
You're
to
being
do.
insensitive, man.
I'm not being insensitive.
Yeah.
If I know
This
you to be
person
a
is
man,
missing, you know.
huh?
This person is missing. This is a missing person. So we
Well,
have to
they're
treat
not
it.
sure if he is missing.
Well, they're,
We,
they're
the,
both
police
supposed
even,
to.
the police even didn't know there's a yoga retreat.
Now, some police officers don't know, but doesn't mean that all doesn't. Because I have a police officer who said that he did an investigation where an American came to Bahamas, went to that place and was missing, and they found the person.
They found him.
Yeah, they found the
Well,
person because
the case
he
solved
was,
then.
he was.
Just go back to where
They haven't found this person.
No, I'm not talking about Taylor.
Oh, yeah.
I'm talking about your American.
Yeah, they had a case before
Where the Americans come there
where somebody
missing.
left the United States, came to the Bahamas, said they went to this yoga retreat,
And
went
went missing.
missing. But they found that person in a very mysterious place. So the person was packed up and shipped back to the United
Okay,
States.
so this might be another mysterious thing.
Yeah.
All I'm saying is it becomes confusing when American news say it's a woman. And we up and down looking for woman.
When it's actually a man.
And when it's actually, we even ain't sure if it's a man. And I'm not being
So how did we
insensitive.
get on this transgender thing anyhow?
Because that is what came out in the course of briefing
Because
that I
the
received.
Americans say it's a woman, so we're looking for a woman.
Yes, but we now have doubts that certain Americans are not quite competent in identifying males and females if they have on their clothes. Okay? So it's that. I'm not being insensitive. What the hell do you
Yeah.
want me to do if you tell me it's a woman missing? I go looking for a woman and then later on they say, no, it ain't no woman, it's a transgender. That becomes confusing.
Right, so we're looking for transgender then.
And how does a transgender look?
Half and half.
Half of what?
You know.
No, everybody is 50% of their ma and 50% of their pa.
Half and half.
Right? Mm-hmm. Right? Isn't it so?
Yeah.
You're 50% of your mother.
Yeah, but
And 50%
everybody say you look like my father though.
Okay.
That's what they tell me.
I'm not going to get
Even
that
even at the funeral,
Yeah.
we had a police officer who said, you know.
that you look like your father.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. This is great.
So, anyhow,
Yeah.
we move on
Yeah. Let's move on.
before we go overboard.
So there's so many things to talk about. Very interesting development has been what is the employment rate in the country. We have seen in the last couple of hours where the Department of Statistics has told us that the unemployment rate has decreased tremendously in the country. And it also, we've heard where the Prime Minister, he's had some comments, and Prime Minister Philip Davis has predicted that within the next 2 months, the unemployment rate will continue to drop. And it's welcome news for me. I was very excited when I learned that unemployment was decreasing. And what is so good about that news, it is a clear indication that everybody is slowly beginning to find employment. And our unemployment rate has dropped so tremendously that everybody is getting a job. So, I'm very excited that hundreds of Bahamians are now being employed. The prospect for that is great. And then, of course, living here in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas are many citizens from the West Indies. So it's a clear indication that our economy is so good that the rate of unemployment has dropped tremendously, and our brothers and sisters from the West Indies are equally recipients of that unemployment. So Bahamians are working, Jamaicans are working, people from the Turks and Caicos are working, and I say to myself, Bunde bon, God is good. Tout moun yo haïtien, travail en pile. And of course, there are plenty Haitian who is working, which means we will be able to pay for our work permits on time. We'll be able to make our national insurance contributions, and we'll be able to contribute to the economy when it comes to buying food and clothes and other things. There are some of us who are now looking at the prospect of getting small mortgages. So God is good. Bon Dieu bon. God is good. So I think it's a great thing. So we thank God that the Progressive Liberal Party has been managing our economy very, very well. So God is good. Well, having said that to you, you must have heard by now that the Kenyans have arrived in Haiti, and during their landing, when they would have exited the plane, would you believe they went into a voodoo dance? I was shocked that these African brothers, you would recall that 400-500 years ago, they captured us and they sold us into slavery. 500 years later, they've come to liberate us. Isn't that amazing? I don't trust them. And so I'm going to show you a video so you can understand what I say when I told you that I do not trust the Kenyans. And I want all Haitians to see it and to recognize that voodoo from Africa has landed in Haiti. So we will see. Show it. So you would have seen that landing in Haiti is witchcraft. That's what I believe. From the dance that they have danced. So this is going to be very interesting to see culturally what takes place and the cultural clash, because many of the African nation, they represent the tribes that conquered our ancestors and sold us to the white man and stole our African land and rights. And so they landed. And when they arrived, they went into a voodoo dance. Isn't it amazing? They went into a voodoo dance. So we shall see how this will manifest itself. Tout le monde haïtien, l'air avion a venu la terre Haïti. Tout le monde yo qui sorti Afrique yo Kenya. Yo danse voodoo. Pas jonglé et pas jonglé. So it's beautiful. Please forgive me. I am a Negro, and I'm distracted when I see these forces doing these kind of things. I can't believe it that we, the Bahamas, a Christian nation, could be a part of that voodoo landing in Haiti. So all I see is voodoo and Boka. So this is powerful. My spiritual advisor, as a Christian.
Can you play that? Okay, okay.
You want to see it again?
No. We want to see a clip coming to the United States. Senator, but remember now, they had promised during the gangs and the uprising in Haiti that a part of the installation of a temporary government in Haiti, that Kenya would be the one who would supply, is it 10,000? It's supposed to be 10,000, please?
Really?
I believe that's the amount. I'm not certain.
Well,
but they were supposed to come.
They bring evil spirit into Haiti.
Senator, man, why you?
They bring voodoo.
Why you doing that, man? We didn't hear that.
You didn't understand what they were saying?
Oh, you understood?
Of course.
Okay, but their mission, though, is to try to bring some sort of a peace and
by bringing
normalcy
witchcraft into Haiti?
They don't have to bring it. It's already there. Come on, you know that.
My
They
spiritual
don't have to
advisor.
bring nothing to Haiti.
My spiritual advisor.
Haiti is
Would
is the hit town for voodoo, man. You know that. Come
my
on,
spiritual
man.
advisor. Did you see what the Kenyans did?
What did it?
Huh?
What did they do? Yeah.
Lord Jesus,
But
have mercy.
this begins the peacekeeping mission to bring or restore Haiti, especially the Haiti, especially the capital area, Port-au-Prince, where majority of the gangs were at some point in charge of Port-au-Prince. But there has been a temporary government installed, and these Kenyan police are going to work along with police officers and then a team of other officers from other Caribbean countries to help, bring some normalcy to Haiti.
Well, I
Let's
just
see
want,
how it works out.
I just
We
want
good to go?
I just want them to keep our defense force unless they send Christian defense force officers down there. What are you
How
showing
long
me?
is that? Okay, let's see it. Let's see what you got. On the other side, we'll look at it. Okay, yeah, but what do you say now, Santa?
Yeah, I'm hoping that we will send Christian Defense Force officers, because them Kenyans, they're full of magic. It's magic, 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 magic.
It's a bold step on a very serious initiative.
Okay.
But behind this mission, and I can understand why the Kenyan government decided to take up this task. There's a lot of money behind it.
Yeah, yeah.
Millions.
Kenya has become a mercenary country.
Millions. I think the
20
United States put like $300 million on the table, eh?
Well,
didn't they?
Well, when they sold us the first time, how much millions did they got?
I don't know. What I know in this mission here to bring some normalcy to Haiti, it started off at 100, then it increased to 200, and then an additional 100 million was pledged. So
Really?
Senator, $300 million on the table is plenty money.
We shall watch it.
Absolutely.
We shall watch it. We shall watch
Indeed.
it.
I got a correction for you, Senator.
Yes.
I'm understanding that the retirement of Sir Michael Barnett and assumption of the presidency of the Court of Appeal takes effect the 1st of July, 2024. I'm understanding that.
The 1st of July?
Yeah.
Even though I read that it took effect the 24th of June, 2024.
Well, this is the correction again.
Okay.
This is correction.
Okay.
All right.
Well, John Isaac is the next president of the Court of Appeal. God save the Court of Appeal. It's powerful. John Isaac, the next president. That's powerful. God save the king. We'll be right back after the break. Hold on, everybody. Let's pray for Haiti. Obia has landed. Welcome back to Freedom March. My name is Rodney Monker. Bradley Roll is my spiritual advisor. It's about 5:30. We usually invite calls, but before we do so, my spiritual advisor has an ad or two.
Absolutely. The Work Center, located Rosetta Street across from Roberts Furniture, is your one-stop shop for back-to-school dickies, Timberlands, and many, many more. Come on down and let their friendly staff assist you with getting ready for back to school. This is powerful.
Yes, it is.
Very good. It's amazing. You be around people long enough, you start mimicking them. Everybody needs money always. Send money internationally and locally through Western Union with Money Max. Download the Money Max app today and send cash instantly to a family member or friend anytime and anywhere. Sending money has never been simpler. The app is available on the Apple Store and Google Play Store. Money Max. Live your max life.
Wow.
All right.
That is powerful.
That's powerful indeed.
Go ahead, my spiritual advisor.
What you want to do first before we open the light? Do you want to get that clip from America? All right, yeah, let's play it. Let's see what the Americans have to say, and then we'll see what the Bahamian press has to say about the missing tourists.
It has been 5 days since 41-year-old Taylor Casey was last seen on Paradise Island in the Bahamas. Police there issued a missing persons alert in hopes of finding the Chicago woman. CBS 2's Darius Johnson spoke to those who love her and an expert about travel in that area.
More than 1,300 miles away, an investigation is underway in the disappearance of 41-year-old Taylor Casey. According to the Royal Bahamas Police Force, the Chicago woman was last seen Wednesday, June 19th on Paradise Island in the Bahamas. Police released this flyer on Saturday.
Paradise Island is loaded with resorts and hotels. If she was on a yoga retreat, I'm sure she was staying at one of those hotels or resorts.
We spoke to CBS News travel editor Peter Greenberg to learn more about where Casey was visiting. On Facebook, family and friends say she was attending a yoga retreat with Sivananda Ashram Yoga Retreat in the Bahamas.
What we don't know here is where she was actually staying. Did she leave the resort? Did she leave the complex? Was she by herself? Was she traveling with somebody else?
Casey's disappearance comes as the State Department issued a level 2 out of 4 travel advisory for the Bahamas, advising travelers to exercise increased caution.
The reason why the State Department issued that advisory is because of increased gang crimes in the Bahamas, as there are increased crime situations with gangs in places like Mexico or Jamaica. That does not necessarily mean you can't go there.
There are also level 2 travel advisories for other countries throughout the Caribbean.
Most American travelers, you'll know, when they travel to the Bahamas or Jamaica for that matter, or to the beach resorts in Mexico, never leave the resorts.
Greenberg says these advisories often generate fear, but it's important to know your surroundings.
Where trouble happens for any American traveler is when they, let's say, go out at night with friends or by themselves in a neighborhood that they don't know or that they don't understand or it's unfamiliar to them, and they're not traveling in a group. That's where they can get into some trouble.
As the search continues in the Bahamas, Casey's family and friends remain worried. Her mother, Colette Seymour, released a statement today saying, "We are deeply concerned for Taylor's safety and well-being. We love Taylor and want her home." I'm Darius Johnson.
Thank you so much, producer. Did we have a video released by the Ministry of Tourism? The Director General? Okay, go ahead, Sandra. I'm producer. Play that.
And we're meeting internally in terms of the best approach. The first thing that we also have to remember is it's still an ongoing investigation. And right now, we don't want to move based on any assumptions. And we also need to respect the family as well, and not to share anything that may not be the case. So again, our prayers are with the family. We want to allow the authorities time for the investigation. I will commit to updating this group because this is our local media and it's very important. So the same energy and the same courtesies we extend internationally, this will be the core group that we start with as we communicate. That's a commitment from us.
Thank you so
So
much,
folks,
producer.
you hear it for yourself. The American spokesman has pointed out that there is major gang activity here in the Bahamas. It sounds to me like we need the Kenyan armed forces to come here to the Bahamas. It's just amazing how in these black society they just put gang, gang, gang. So there's gang in Haiti, they send the Kenyan Armed Forces. There's gang in the Bahamas, you might as well send them Africans here as well.
No, we're not that bad.
How you mean a whole
We're not as bad as Haiti.
American
We're
is
not as
missing?
bad as Haiti, though.
A whole American is missing?
Yeah, that's just
A
one.
whole American is
What
missing?
about all the ones that are tortured and raped and killed in
My
Haiti?
brother, one American missing
It's
in the
one too much.
Bahamas
We understand
is
that.
plenty American.
Yeah.
So we might as well bring the Kenyan here, and they perhaps could do a voodoo dance in the Bahamas.
You just
Let's answer phone calls.
Okay, the lines are open up. 323-7775. We got 20 minutes. We apologize for the late start. 323-7775 is the number to call. 698-0775. 698-0776. Call us. We had quite an exciting day today. A lot of information going on. A lot of stuff going on in the country. If you want to comment, just call us, please. We'll be glad to engage you. 323-7775, 698-0775, 698-0776. All right, we got the first call. Welcome to Freedom March call. You're live.
Good afternoon, Mr. Monica and Spiritual Advisor.
Good afternoon.
Shanika. Good
Yes,
afternoon.
sir.
How are you?
I'm enjoying the show thus far.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Dealing with that tourist, I pray they find her. I pray they locate her. We still don't really know what happened to her, but I pray she's found safe and sound.
Absolutely.
What I don't like is how they're trying to twist things to make it seem like the Bahamas is some belligerent country, and that is far from the truth. We are peace-loving people. We may have our ways. We are wicked-ways people in this country, but we are no ways a belligerent nation, and we don't harm no tourists. You understand? I always tell people, even when you go in some of these urban areas, they don't do you anything.
No,
you have to
no.
go and interact with people.
We
for
love the
them
tourists.
to, you know what I'm saying?
We love the tourists.
Harm you. Bahamian people, they loving people. So I don't know where they're going with that foolishness.
Absolutely.
I don't
Yeah.
appreciate that at all. Don't you be trying to create no smear campaign on people. That's wrong. Especially how they did with those, I don't know if they ever found out the truth, but that rape case with those two ladies, I think they proved them to be lying, right?
Yes.
Yes, basically,
See
yeah.
how wicked some people are, but God always bring out the truth. I didn't
Absolutely.
appreciate that. That was so wrong.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Jealousy is a serious thing, but when it comes back at you, I hope you can take it. The truth always comes out. That's wrong.
Yes, it does.
You know,
We
that's
agree.
very wicked of them. I didn't appreciate that. And then, Mr. Monica, two things. I love Haiti, but we are nowhere near in what's going on in their country. And I pray to God we never get there. And I don't want nobody coming to this country doing no voodoo dance. I rebuke that in the name of Jesus. And then the next thing is I pray that when they send over those RBDF officers, I pray they anoint them and pray over them whether they are Christians or not, because you are interacting with another spirit when you go into people's country. So that's all I want to say, sir.
Thank you, Shanika.
God have a blessed day.
All right, you too. Take care. 323-7775. Welcome to Freedom March call. You're live.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yes, spiritual advisor, Mr. Munker.
So,
Yes.
Yeah, Mr. Munker, I heard that you was praying that you would have the power of a marriage officer. Boy, that would be a serious, dangerous thing for you, who love them people from the northwest part of the Bahamas. You would do more than what you should do, and you know what I'm talking about.
no, I don't know what you're talking about. Tell me clearly.
Listen, if you could have given this country away to Haiti, you would have do that long time.
The country is owned by Haiti now.
I know, in your mind.
No, when you go in the street, every 2 citizens you meet, one is a Haitian.
Well, I only pray that my Lord, the new commissioner of law, wouldn't increase your power. Because if anyone in this country know anything about JPs, boy, listen, they are some of the most dangerous people on the planet in the Bahamas.
Then you should report them to the police and prosecute them, Negro. Hang up on that
Yeah.
man. He's only being slanderous.
Welcome to Freedom March. Call you live.
Hi, Spiritual Advisor, and this is wonderful morning, Monka. How are you today?
We're doing
Hello, my
well.
dear.
Thank you.
I am reporting because I don't like how these Americans who come into this country and they continuously do stuff like this in our country. When you see people on travel advisories as they doing here, no matter who put the travel advisory on us, we just go, we just travel advisory our order for this thing. They just come to our country, do a bunch of foolishness. And yeah, they scrutinize the tourism community, and I understand that and what's not. However, you see the situation with this woman going missing. This is a very strange situation. And shame on these Americans for coming over here to these yoga retreats and they think, oh, they study something, this class, they voodoo, they hoodoo, and all types of stuff they do on these yoga retreats. And they probably don't get high up and jump up, and God knows what happened to them, but they're blaming on the Bahamians. Bahamians cannot access that land in the boat there, so how can it be us? That makes no sense. The average human does not know the yoga property that's in the box there. Indians running that, not Bahamians, and we constantly